Ready Player One made us all a promise. Full body VR, running, jumping, actually being inside the game. And for years, VR treadmills have been trying to deliver on that and falling short, admittedly. And I've used a few, and they were awesome at the time, but not fully there yet. So when the Virtuix Omni One showed up on a pallet at my door, which is still crazy, I kept my expectations in check. But after sprinting through firefights and Contractors VR and just killing zombies in Arizona sunshine, I think we might finally, and I mean finally, be looking at the future. Now, before we get into it, full transparency here, Virtuix sent me this as part of a partnership. That said, everything in this video is my honest take. I'm gonna tell you what's great, what's not, and what I had to fix myself. Also, if you want to pick up one of these babies for yourself, I do have an affiliate link down in the description using to help support the channel. Shout out to the supporters, man. If you guys don't know me, I'm Mario VR. I've been using VR treadmills for a long time, but I got a little bit of skin in the game. One more thing, I've only had a week of real use with this thing. I got sick right after it arrived and I couldn't touch it for a few weeks. So this is not a full review, this is a first impressions. And after a week of putting it through the paces, I got an idea of what I've been dealing with. A full deep dive is coming, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe, hype the video so we can get to the full review later down the line. So this thing showed up on a pallet, 2 massive boxes delivered by a 18-wheeler. And I'm not gonna lie, the unboxing was genuinely fun. It comes with a ridiculous amount of stuff. Like you just keep pulling things out of the box and it's just more and more stuff. Overshoes, trackers, cables, the arm assembly, the harness, cleaning supplies, lubricant, a cleaning cloth. And it's like a smorgasbord of just VR treadmill accessories. If you're someone who loves a good unboxing, this one delivers. Now, I will admit this, pulling the Omni One out of the box, I might have scraped a little bit at the wood on the bottom. I had a little panic moment, but the treadmill is totally fine, crisis averted. Also, setup did not take as long as other VR treadmills I've had in the past. So if you ever wrestled with setting up a VR treadmill, you definitely know what I'm saying. Virtuix has clearly put in some thought into the assembly process and making it not as miserable and as simple as possible. There's documentation, support videos, a Discord, and you're not gonna be sitting there for more than 3 hours questioning your life choices and doing a lot of screwing. The first impression when it's all put together, this thing is huge. I cannot stress that enough. If you're thinking about ordering one, measure your play space first. Make sure you're not close to any walls. And I would honestly say measure twice. Because when this thing is fully assembled with the arm extended, it commands a serious size footprint in your room. Luckily though, it does come with some neat wheels built into it so you can easily move it around your room or your play space. Now, before you order, you should know the specs. The Omni One officially supports users between 4'4" and 6'4" in height and up to 250 pounds. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm definitely over that weight limit, but this thing is sturdy. It feels rock solid. And I'm gonna say this, if you're in a similar situation with anything VR fitness related or even like a treadmill or anything like that, and you're over the listed limit for the technology, just take it easy, don't go overboard, and always check the maintenance of your treadmill before and after use. Back to the build quality though, the Omni One, like I said, is genuinely solid. This doesn't feel like a Kickstarter prototype or some flimsy first-gen product. It feels premium, and that is the main theme of the Omni One to me. It just feels premium. The base is sturdy, and everything clicks together with just purpose. The arm for the treadmill is also really cool. Now, for some reason, it does remind me of Doc Ock from Spider-Man, but I think that's just me being a weird comic nerd. But it's very smooth to adjust. You can raise it, lower it, swing it around, lock it in place without it fighting you. And there's even a locking mechanism that you can reach while on a treadmill to lock it at a click of a button. And it works. Like, it's genuinely so easy to lock it in place, get off, or lock it in place and get on. There's even multiple tension settings at the top of the arm from 1 to 4, so you can customize how much resistance, the harness, and it's the overall treadmill in general gives you. Now, obviously, I'm a heavier guy, so I run it on 4. If you're lighter, you might want to do like 1, 2, or 3, and it's just a genuinely smart system because it means that one treadmill can accommodate a wide range of body type. And here's one small detail I genuinely appreciated. There's even a built-in storage area for cleaning supplies because you're gonna sweat, a lot, obviously. And it's nice that they thought about the practical side of owning this thing and just not like the cool factor, right? Let's talk about how this thing actually feels to wear and use, because if you've never been on a VR treadmill, then you're not gonna have much of a frame of reference. But for that, I got you. The harness feels awesome. I say this as someone who's worn harnesses on other VR treadmills, I feel like you're fighting the hardware more than the enemies in the game sometimes. This one pulls you from above in a way that feels supportive without being restrictive, which is very important. It holds you in place, gives you stability, but it doesn't feel like it's working against you when you want to move. You can crouch in this thing, which is used for games, ducking behind cover in a shooter, no problem. Your knees don't take a beating when you try to crouch, which is good for me because, like I said, I'm a bigger guy. So, you know, we got bad knees. And it is an issue I have with other setups I've had in the past. Just the genuine amount of mobility that the Omni One gives you is ridiculous. And the running is where I feel like this treadmill separates itself from the competition, in my opinion. This is the first time where I feel like I could truly sprint at a higher speed on a VR treadmill. And I genuinely think that comes down to the size of the base and then how the shoes are made. These shoes are easy to walk on. And even going back to the size of the base, since I have more room, I can do a longer stride. I wasn't taking baby steps on other treadmills, but I had to kind of lessen my stride just a little bit to stay, you know, in the circle. So I feel like on the Omni One, you can open up your stride a little bit more, lean into it, and genuinely get a good run going on. Turning and maneuvering is seamless. You just where you want to go, and it's just fun. The overshoe system is interesting. I actually really like the approach that Virtuix took here. Instead of making you buy proprietary shoes or some, you know, weird custom footwear, the overshoes are actually designed to fit over any shoe you already own. Just slide your shoe in, strap it down, make sure it's, you know, in there snug, and you're good. Putting the shoe into the overshoe can be a little confusing at first, but it's really simple, to be honest. The overshoes also come with brakes, so you can stand on the treadmill without slipping, just flip down the grill, and then boom, no sliding at all. That is a nice quality of life touch, and it's easy to reach when you're on the treadmill itself. Now, I will give you guys a fair warning. If you plan on getting one of these, you definitely want shoes with a lot of cushion. You are running on metal. If you throw on some flat Vans or something with no padding, your feet are gonna be screaming at you in probably like 10 minutes. I tried a few different pairs of shoes, but I think these Yeezys that I have are gonna be perfect because I usually wear them, you know, to go work out and stuff like that. And honestly, they got that really thick cushion in the back, so I can actually get some support. So I would highly recommend you invest in the comfort here because it makes a difference for how long you can play. The trackers are also surprisingly small, like way smaller than I expected, to be honest with you. They hold a decent charge. I probably only had to charge them like twice since I've owned the Omni One. And pairing them to the treadmill is like really painless. You turn them on, you press the sync button, and now you do have to put them into the overshoe and like fully turn it to make sure it can connect to the treadmill because it will not connect otherwise. So you have been warned. It actually confused me at first a little bit, but I didn't read, so that's on me. Literally no complaints here, they just work. And for VR hardware, especially for PCVR hardware, that is a blessing. These track very well, so shout out to Virtuix for making good trackers for the shoe. And surprisingly, you do get a VR headset with this package. So the Omni One package I received, which is the higher tier, does come with a Pico 4 Ultra, aka the Omni headset. Now, I do have to be real, it did not fit my head out of the box. Oh my god, very small headset. The default gasket just wasn't working with my head shape, so I ended up 3D printing a custom face gasket until the one I bought from Kiwi got here, and then grabbed a Bubble VR comfort kit to make it somewhat wearable. Even with all of that, it's still a little uncomfortable for me, but it is a very small and lightweight headset. It's actually a nice headset for VR treadmill use because you don't want a heavy headset on your face when you're sprinting. Now the stock comfort could be better, and I will do a full dedicated review of the Pico 4 Ultra / the Omni headset down the line and focus on the PCVR aspect and maybe some of the general stuff people who want to know what else the headset does. For now though, just know if it doesn't fit you out the box, there are solutions. You just need to invest a little bit. I will say though that the controllers are awesome. They're heavy and I love that. I love heavy VR controllers because they feel real. They feel like actual controllers. And Virtuix even thought ahead and put holders for them on the treadmill, Virtuix. So here's where things get really interesting from a platform perspective. Virtuix has prioritized standalone features in a big way, and there's nothing wrong with that. They fully integrated into the Pico ecosystem, which means you can use this treadmill completely standalone with no PC required. You literally just put on the Omni headset, step into the Omni One, and just go. It's very painless. That's a huge deal for accessibility because not everyone has a game PC, and removing that barrier opens us up to a wider audience. And even people in my audience, they have just standalone headsets and no PC. Now, there are other packages available. The Omni One Core comes without a VR headset if you already have one you already want to use. So you're not forced into the Pico/Omni headset if it's not your thing. If you do have an existing Pico and want to connect it to your PC for PCVR gaming or to connect it to the Omni One, you're going to need to download their app and stuff like that. And there's a whole guide online for how to set that up. For other wireless headsets though, you just need to connect through Steam VR, which is very straightforward. Now, here's a pro tip that you will need for PCVR. Make sure to get a Bluetooth adapter and keep it as close as possible to the receiver on the treadmill. The Omni One connects to your PC over Bluetooth, and if your adapter is across the room plugged into the back of your tower, you're gonna run into connection drops, especially if you have a lot plugged up into your PC. I personally picked up a Bluetooth 6.0 dongle directly from Virtuix, ran it through an extension cord, and then boom, the connection problems just stopped immediately. Night and day different. If you're doing PCVR with this thing, do yourself a favor and make sure you sort that out before your first session. And here's something Quest users should keep an ear out for. Virtuix is actually coming to Meta really soon, which is exciting for anyone who owns a Meta Quest headset and doesn't have a PC. More platform support for these type of things is always a good thing, and Meta's install base is massive, so it could be a definite game changer for the Omni One. Okay, let's talk about what actually matters. How does it feel to play games on this thing? To me, genuinely, and just me being honest, it feels like the future. And I don't say that lightly, I really don't. I've used VR treadmills before, and they always feel like a compromise in certain areas. Like, yeah, you're technically walking, but it never felt real, like 100% real at that. The Omni One is the first time that VR treadmill comfort has been a real non-issue for me. In terms of running, this is the best and most accurate running experience I've ever had on a VR treadmill, ever. I've tried the Omni One across several games, Contractors VR, Bootstrap Island, Arizona Sunshine, and across the board, it genuinely just felt right. But two moments really stood out to me. First, the Star Wars Contractors mod, man, that is the quintessential VR multiplayer experience, and I love it. Running through the map, blaster fire going off around you, you're physically sprinting through these corridors, you see Anakin Skywalker over there, Darth Vader's over there. It is mind-bogglingly amazing with a VR treadmill, and I love it in VR. That is the Ready Player One moment for me. That is what I've been chasing. That is why I love VR treadmills, because it is different. It's amazing. It's peak. It's really one of the few times, especially being someone who's a VR veteran, where I just get lost in the VR. I become one with the fake reality, ironically, the virtual reality, and it's just awesome. Second, it was Arizona Sunshine. I love a good zombie game. If you've been here on the channel for a while, Marty loves zombies. Now, there was this moment where I got swarmed by what felt like 100 zombies in the first chapter of Arizona Sunshine. My heart was pounding, not because of the game, but my body was actually into it. Now, walking backwards on this thing, I haven't learned how to do yet. I'm not gonna lie. I tried it one time, I almost slipped. I haven't tried it again. Now, it is possible. It is very possible. You can walk backwards on this thing. You can side strafe also. But your boy, my dexterity is not there yet. I've been using VR treadmills for a year plus. So that's just me. Now, some people can do it, and shout out those people, but your boy not. But when you play certain games like Arizona Sunshine, that's where the VR treadmill really clicks, because you gotta move around when zombies are coming at you. So let's talk about what you can actually play on this thing. Virtuix does have their own game store and app ecosystem, which is honestly pretty decent at best. There's a definitely cool selection to get started with. I'm definitely excited to see it grow with more titles. I think on the Meta Quest is where that's really gonna shine, because Meta Quest just has more games. I tried a few of the apps on the Omni store, and I was like, oh my God, this is actually a good bit of fun. There's shooters and even this very janky soccer game, which I actually kind of like, but I need to learn how to play it more. First, I think a highlight is Breachers, but I absolutely suck at Breachers, so I don't expect much gameplay on here from your boy. Omni One also works with a wide range of PCVR titles. And if you've been here, you know it's your boy loves PCVR. That's mainly my thing. And it does support some PCVR mods like the Resident Evil 2 VR mod or even RE8 VR mod, which is dope. Now, I did run into some games that just didn't work with the Omni One. I'm not sure why. I think it might be like a driver issue, maybe a profile configuration, or just compatibility. I don't know. But that's something I need to dig into for the full review so I can tell you guys. But if you're buying expecting every single VR game to work perfect out of the box, you might want to temper the expectation a little bit, because while it's getting there, it's not there yet. But it does cover a lot of the popular titles though. For the VR fitness crowd, and honestly this should be a really big selling point, the Omni Connect app, which is what you use to connect it to PC, packs a bunch of useful metrics. Calories burned, steps taken, miles walked or ran, total hours played, average session length, and total game sessions. It's all built in. And from what I can tell, it's actually mad accurate. If you're someone who's looking at the Omni One as a fitness tool, I think a lot of you guys are, it's definitely a good reason to buy it. You can actually see your progress over time, set goals, see the work paying off, and that's just motivating. Let's be real though, if you're using the Omni One properly, you're probably gonna sweat a lot. So maintenance definitely matters here. Virtuix does include a cleaning cloth and lubricant for the base dish, plus a tool to spread it. The lubricant keeps the overshoes sliding smoothly on this metal surface, which is important for that running feel. Without it, you'll get too much friction and movement starts to feel sticky and just very unnatural. Now, to me personally, it doesn't feel like lubricant spreads real easy, and you definitely need a little tool to spread it. But personally, I just spray a little bit more and that usually does it. Now, here's where I gotta keep real with you guys. Being as the hardware is just incredible, the software has some real, well, gaps right now, especially if you're not using a Pico or Omni headset. The biggest issue for me personally as a user is the lack of just proper software support outside of the Omni ecosystem. Specifically, if you want to adjust your motion profiles, like how fast you run in games, speed multiplier, sensitivity, that kind of thing, you have to go into the text files manually, plain text configuration files in 2026. And most people just aren't trying to do that. As someone who's come from other VR treadmills, that kind of immediately surprised me. Like, when the hardware is this premium, it's a polished experience, and then the software asked me to open a text editor and change values by hand. Hard note for your boy as a software engineer. So what did I do? I sat down with Claude AI, and together we built the app to solve this problem. It's called OmniTune. It gives you an actual graphical interface both in VR and in Steam VR to create, edit, and manage your motion profiles. You can change your speed curves, adjust multipliers, or switch between different profiles for different games, change themes, all without ever touching a text file. Now, OmniTune is in beta right now. It's open source on GitHub. The link will be down below. And I've got a handful of testers in the Discord putting it through its paces and giving your boy feedback. If you're an Omni One owner and you're tired of editing config files, then you definitely need to come check out OmniTune. And then there was the other issue, and this one actually cost me sleep. Like, literally. So here's the situation. I like using my big screen Beyond 2 for sweaty streams. It's tiny, light, comfortable. It doesn't really trap heat on your face like bigger headsets do, right? Perfect for VR treadmill use. Now, the big screen Beyond uses Lighthouse tracking with base stations and Valve Index controllers. Now, with you knowing all that, I tried to use it with the Omni One, specifically the Omni Connect app, which is their PCVR software, and it did not work. So there's a little virtual gamepad that you will see in Steam VR, and it was in the wrong position. It's supposed to be under you. Now, instead of placing it below me like it's supposed to be, it actually was locking it into one of my Lighthouse base stations in the air. So my in-game position for the VR treadmilling was just wrong, and I couldn't use my treadmill. The treadmill literally couldn't figure out where I was relative to itself because it was looking at the Lighthouse and not me. And like any, good content creator, I went to the Virtuix Discord, I asked around, and nobody could help me with my bug. Apparently, I was the only person experiencing it. And I want to be fair here. The Virtuix community is actually awesome. Discord is very helpful. Virtuix is very active in there. They even do community game nights, which is really cool. But this particular problem, Lighthouse tracking with the Omni One, is a niche within a niche, and nobody had a solution for my particular bug. Now, other people have used the big screen Beyond 2 though, so I knew it was just a me issue because just my luck. So I did, like I did before, what any reasonable person would do, at midnight. with the problem they refused to let go of. I grabbed some coffee, some great coffee, not you know, a little iced coffee, Claude, you know, AI, and we went to work for a few hours. What I ended up building was a proxy that sits between Steam VR and the Omni One driver in Steam VR. When the Steam VR opens, it grabs the headset position and tells the Omni One driver to anchor the gamepad right where I stand, right below me, aka the player. And it does that instead of defaulting to the Lighthouse base station. And it's funny because when I originally encountered this issue, I was streaming. So there's a whole 2-hour stream of me just debugging, which was an experience, especially on a Saturday night. Very tough, very sad. Now, the process of solving my problem made me respect the hardware even more, because once everything was working correctly, the experience was flawless. And I will put this driver up there one day if more people have the issue. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want that. With all that being said, let's talk money, because I know that's on a lot of you guys' mind. The full Omni One system, treadmill, arm, harness, overshoes, trackers, and the Pico 4 Ultra headset / the Omni headset comes in at $34.95. Woo! $3,495 American dollars. God damn! The Omni One Core, which is everything minus the headset, is $25.95, and you can finance it online also. That is not cheap. Let's not even pretend it is remotely. If you guys been here for a while, you know I'm a person who's very, very intentional about how much things cost, especially with videos like this. This is a serious investment. So let's talk about who this actually is for and who I think would like it off first impressions. In my opinion, this is for 3 types of people. The first type is a person who is serious about VR fitness. If you're using VR as a genuine workout tool and you want the most effective, most immersive way to get your body moving in virtual reality, this is it. Nothing else comes close that I have used as of right now. The fact that you're actually running, actually crouching, actually engaging with your whole body, it's a real workout. And the built-in fitness tracking, the Omni Connect, means you can access your progress, calories, step, mile, session data, literally all right there. You can't really ask for much more. Second group is the people who really want to lose weight and are looking for a way to exercise that doesn't feel like a chore. You guys know I personally hate regular treadmills. I feel like they're boring. And I feel like when you're sprinting away from zombies or running through Star Wars, like I said before, you don't really feel like you're exercising. You feel like you're playing a game, and that is the best part. And some of you guys may remember my VR treadmill challenge series. We played a lot of Minecraft before, had a lot of fun on the stream. Planning to bring that back with the Omni Ones. So if you guys want to follow my weight loss journey, we're doing it again. Make sure you subscribe. Definitely look forward to the streams. The third group is for anyone who's used a VR treadmill before. So you know all the pitfalls and the highs that come on the VR treadmill. And if you experience budget VR treadmilling, you're definitely ready for this premium experience. This is the upgrade in my opinion. The difference in quality from this and other ones I've used is just night and day. If you're a casual VR user who plays Beat Saber maybe once a week, this ain't for you. I'm sorry, G. But if you're serious, if this is a real hobby or a real fitness commitment, I think personally that it is worth it. The experience is that premium. Is it a lot of money? Yeah, it is a lot of money. But it's also a piece of hardware that genuinely delivers on the promise of full body VR locomotion. And to me, being a VR treadmiller and somebody who's just an ambassador for VR treadmilling, that is worth something. All right, so that was a lot of yapping, and this video is longer than I intended. So that's where I'm at after 1 week with the Virtuix Omni. The hardware is genuinely impressive, the running experience, the best I ever had. The harness system is smart and comfortable, and the standalone Pico integration is forward thinking in a way I think makes it feel like more than a PC peripheral. But the software on the PCVR side needs real work. The motion profile situation needs a real GUI, aka UI, which is exactly why I built OmniTune. The Lighthouse tracking issue still require users to build a proxy driver. I know that PC VR headsets outside of their Omni headset isn't their focus, totally understand that. But we should work on support a little bit. And the PC VR experience for headsets outside of Pico needs a little bit more love. Some games just still don't work, and I feel like they should definitely work on that compatibility situation. I know it's a really hard thing to address. Now, and these aren't deal breakers to me, they're just kind of growing pains. Software takes time to mature and develop, and Virtuix is very early in their existence. And even talking with people from Virtuix, they are addressing a lot of these issues, and we should see some improvements really soon. We're not in the Oasis yet. We're not there yet. But the Omni One is the first time I've used a VR treadmill and felt like, damn, we might almost be there. And that feeling of sprinting through a game world with your own legs and forgetting you're in your living room, that is worth chasing, whether it be in real life or in the VR treadmill. I'm gonna keep using it, keep building tools for it, and then I'll have a full in-depth review coming out once I've had more time with it. It's just the first impressions. I'm also bringing back the VR treadmill channel like I mentioned before. So if you want to see me lose weight on this thing, that's coming too. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of it. If you're in the Discord, come hang out. If you want to try OmniTune, link is in the description below. And if you're ready to pick one of these up, my affiliate link is also in the description below. Using it helps support the channel, like I said before, and I genuinely appreciate it. It's been your boy Mark VR, and remember, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.